Tasha, and I am a mother of 3 children with my husband, Safi. I have a 14-year-old, an 11-year-old, and an 8-year-old, and my 11-year-old has complex medical needs and was a Make-A-Wish kid.
My name's Soraya. I love my family, playing with my dolls and like give people hugs because I'm really friendly to people who need it. And I'm very, very confident with life.
Soraya is the funniest person I know. She is very kind and loving. She wants to be everybody's friend, and she wants nothing more than to love and be loved.
Soraya is an 11-year-old child with an undiagnosed disease. Her symptoms look very similar to a progressive, which just means worsening, neuromuscular disease that affects every part of her body. Thinking of a disease such as ALS and thinking about her muscles being impacted, and her, for her specifically, it's her respiratory muscles and needing a ventilator. She also has feeding issues, which is why she has a G-tube. Her cognition and her intellect and her affection are there. But slowly, as her body gets tired, her brain is now getting tired, and remembering things is really challenging. Talking is really challenging. Her mouth gets tired from talking. Her tongue gets tired from eating and chewing. Her symptoms even look different now than what they did when she was first born. And so it's really tough because all these gains that we had worked about 10 years to get her to are now slowly leaving us. My husband's an orthopedic hand surgeon and I am a pediatrician. I think that that is one thing that has been really difficult for a lot of people who are not in medicine to kind of wrap their mind around. Like, how do 2 doctors, one that's a pediatrician, not know what their daughter has? All of these things that I have learned about in a textbook, but now they're all of a sudden a part of my world, and I'm rereading everything about trying to figure out how long she's going to be with us. We really did look for everything, and we slowly had to chip away each one of those diagnoses to prove that she didn't have it, but in the end didn't end up with anything. And so not only do we not have a diagnosis, but we know for sure that she's declining and there's nothing we can do to stop it.
When you have an undiagnosed child who has a prognosis that is very poor, that you don't have a timeline, you don't have a real frame of reference, but you can get bitter. And every single day, the medical illness can consume you. It's not just I'm going to a bunch of appointments. As a parent, it's the worry when I go to sleep, thinking to myself, what's it gonna be like if she's not here? What's it gonna be like for the other 2? I'm a surgeon by trade, so my job and the way that I'm wired is to fix things. It's easy to get caught up in I wanna fix this, I wanna fix this. But in that time, you have to choose to live. We may have 2 paths going on at the same time. One path is struggle with medical illness, but the other path is swim and dance and all the other stuff that you're supposed to do as a kid. And these have to be parallel paths. They cannot exist in one or the other. We can't have all medicine or just ignore all the medical stuff and just do our life and pretend like things don't exist. So we have to find a way to do both. My mind was struggling to make that switch. And so the Make-A-Wish trip reframed how I looked at not just her, but kind of what do we do with this life? Like, what is the purpose?
My wish was going to Hawaii because there's no bad weather. I get to be close with my family. It was the best I've ever had as a family. And it was just easy.
Families like us, even we may have the means, but the will, the logistics is daunting. It is overwhelming.
We had never traveled on a plane with a ventilator, and we were terrified to get on a plane. And so when Soraya said Hawaii, honestly, we couldn't show her our fear, because I'm like, she has spoken, this is what we're gonna do, we're gonna make it happen. But we were so terrified. Like, how are we gonna do an event on a plane? How are we gonna carry everything? What about a beach wheelchair? How are we gonna get that? You're thinking about what meds, you're thinking about the next thing, you're thinking about the agenda, you're thinking about food. You're thinking about where you're gonna stay and if they have everything that you need for what you need. You know, like a sink for Soraya to wash G-tubes, like a refrigerator for her feed that we had to put through her tube. And Make-A-Wish took care of all of those details. I was able to express all of my fears, and I didn't have to worry about any of that. I don't wanna say we were invincible, but for a second, we can do things. That feeling is something that is separate from any trip.
Without Make-A-Wish, like, we would have never in a million years decided to try to get together. Let's go to Hawaii. Let's go to Honolulu. Let's stay there for 5-6 days. Let's try to find a way to create memories for Soraya and the girls.
Like, I get to have the family time. I get to be close and get my mind off from the tough times and get to relax somewhere that I can enjoy.
Joy doesn't always have to cost money. Joy doesn't always have to cost, it doesn't have to be an event. You can buy things, you can do stuff to make memories, but like, this was like a core memory for the girls. And like, I haven't seen them that happy in a long time. Our family motto essentially came out of that trip. Suck the joy out of life is how we live now. And that's what that trip was about. It's like, yeah, we're having some nasty struggles, but for this 6 days, we're not. We're gonna renew the way that we look at things.
This trip, while it was about Soraya, it was really a gift to our family. It's not like we've always lived this way. It's not like we've always known how to put one foot in front of the other. We didn't. There have been just moments of completely wanting to give up. And Make-A-Wish was really that like first step to even think of things in a way of like, oh, instead of being in survival mode and thinking about the day-to-day, what is the big picture? Let's suck the joy out of life. And I was like, yes, this is going to be our family motto. We are gonna make family shirts, and from here on out, we are gonna find joy and we're gonna just get it. We're gonna go after it. We're not gonna wait for it to fall onto our lap and say, oh, you guys have been going through a lot, here comes joy. We're gonna just go get it. So we wanna go do something fun, we're gonna make it happen. So let's start making bucket lists. And that has been a tradition that we have started since Make-A-Wish, where every few months, we go around the table and it's everybody's bucket list. Well, what do you want to do? And so these are things that we continuously do. We're like, okay, this is our next goal. And so since then, we have had such incredible experiences from the ripple effect of Make-A-Wish.
They do live their lives like off of their bucket list, and it's really inspiring because, you know, like, money and work don't really matter. You work to get your money to enjoy your time with your family and your friends and loving people.
We take them to get lattes at a coffee shop, and they can sit and talk while they drink their hot chocolates and their lattes. And now we're gonna do family game nights where we do teams. So that way if Soraya is tired, then we can do something together. And we just decided that they can make videos together, so that way they can create some memories and something that they're both interested and able to do. This like frame of thought and this way of living, I don't think we would have gotten there in time. I think that in retrospect, I may have thought of this after she was gone, but what a gift that we can do this while she's here.
I can't really put into words how proud I am of these girls and of Tosh, because, you know, we preach to our kids, like, you know, we lead with kindness in this house. We lead with kindness. And to persevere for as long as these girls have, in the times of even most extreme stress, these girls just step up over and over again for each other, for their parents. There's so many families that unfortunately strife like this really kind of tears them apart, and I'm so proud of the girls that, if anything, it's brought us together.
I have this beautiful family, and that's all I could ask for. And it's hard. Sometimes I might not feel like I belong here, but I do know that my family's here for me no matter what.
All I know is there is something beautiful in doing this together. It is now a shared experience, and while Soraya is the one that is going through it, we are the ones that are with her, and we will be the ones that will carry her through it, and will carry her through until the end.
Soraya has been the biggest impact in my life. She makes me feel braver. She makes me feel better about myself. She just is like the most loving, and you can learn a lot from her.
I want the world to know a lot of things are happening in the world. It can be crazy, it can be messy, it can be hard, and it's hard to accept. All that matters is you should love each other. You should love who you are, accept who you are. You may have special needs, you may be a normal person, but always be kind. Always suck the joy of life, because that moment teaches you the path that you want to go.